vocals, whatever. But when we play live, we put 4 pieces. So until you get into the studio and you start layering things, the sound is going to be radically different. Right? And everybody does it. Everybody does that. I mean, you look at the studio. Now, how in the world could they possibly reproduce that live with what they got on stage? You can't. And it's been like that forever.
And so I mean, they've got to kind of like hire more musicians and get a
if they want to,
super big sound system and everything.
Yeah, and for years, the Who, which was just a 3-piece band, had a keyboard player, and they didn't even have him on stage. They had him behind the curtain. Okay.
We're here with
Tony Rogers.
Of the band.
Short Notes.
And this conversation is sparked by comments made in recent dealing with digital forms. So if you just recap some of what happened in there, your main point was to do with full albums versus singles and the way music is promoted in the industry today.
Yeah.
So you just tell us something about that?
Yeah, well, within the industry, as it has been for a long time, even if there are singles released off an album, there's still an album produced. And a lot of artists make their bread and butter out of recording albums with no likelihood of there ever being a single album. The entire album will be strong, but there's no song that was targeted as a single for radio drive. In this new format, people just download and cherry pick whichever they would like. They're not going to download whole albums. So eventually it will probably dawn on the powers that be within the industry that there's no need in recording full albums. There's only a need to go into the studio with an artist and record the songs that they're going to select as being your single releases anyway. And that eliminates the entire secondary group of artists out there who make a comfortable living without being millionaires based on their album sales.
And how do you see the industry avoiding this scenario?
It's difficult to say. To avoid it, you really still have to have your eye on the fact that 100% of your record sales are not going to Britney Spears fans or fans of anything that's the top 10 hit right now on the radio.
And maybe the fact that so much of the sales is made up of that is a deeper issue that the industry should be looking at.
It's all in the way that it's marketed as well. And if you market everything just for the quick bang, the quick hit, then that's what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with an industry of people who are just quick hits. And nobody can really have so many top 10 hits. There's very few artists who have had numerous top 10 hits. But there's a lot of artists out there who can produce one. And you're just going to have a high turnover in artists, and the record companies will thrive, the internet providers will thrive, the publishers will thrive, the artists themselves will be stuck with being known as a one-hit wonder and having to make a marginal living out of it in the future.
So I guess it kind of takes a different approach to the marketing of it, whereby you market the entire album. Probably not even through the standard radio channels, because really there's only so much you can do in that format.
No, and it's been done very much so in the past. There's a lot of artists who now, with the advent of FM radio, tape Sure. There's a lot of artists now since the advent of FM radio who do get airplay. Pink Floyd's a good example. If you look at the lighter side of things, you've got people like John Prine, huge cult following, never had a hit on the radio. You'll hear them on the radio now because of FM. But when those albums were selling millions, there were no songs on the radio promoting those albums. Those things were promoted in different ways.
Such as what?
Well, a lot of what it was live performances, festivals that featured artists who weren't just one-hit wonders. The industry has changed, so of course you can't turn back the clocks on it. It's going to change things back to what it was. But for artists themselves to promote themselves, they're going to have to look at ways that they can get their product out there and be known that no, we're not an AM success, or an FM success as it goes now, but in the same token, there's a lot of good product out there, and there's people willing to buy it.
And so I guess it kind of takes creativity on the artist side, and more than just making the music, but creativity in how they present the music to the public.
Sure. You can't blame all the ills of the industry on the industry people. The artists still are ultimately responsible for their own well-being. And if the artist just simply focuses on, well, all I have to do is record 2 really good songs for these guys, and I'm in like Flynn, I'll be on the web, and people will download those 2 good songs, then I can fill up the rest of my repertoire with junk. And the next time it comes time for a release, just make sure I get 2 strong songs on there again. Then you'd end up with a problem. So the artist themselves has to make sure that they're producing enough work so that they can color and have a really strong product that's strong overall.
What implications do you think this has for, I guess, live music as an art form? If so much emphasis is put on individual recordings that, as you said, are layered and hidden behind technology, what does this mean for the live show?
Well, for the live show, it's the same road, unfortunately, artists have been going down for a long time. You produce something when you get in the studio, you bring in other musicians that you don't have in your complement, and then you're left with the task of trying to either reproduce this live with the instruments that you actually have within the orchestra, or hiring sidemen to come along, which increases your costs, which either you have to hand that off to the consumer in the ticket price, or you have to take the bite yourself and cut into your profit when you're doing it. And the logistics of touring are expensive enough as it is, and they're not getting any cheaper. So you really have to gauge what you're doing around what you can reproduce affordably, rather than what's the very best lush thing, and oh geez, if I have 52 strings on this thing, this is going to sound great. Well, then live, what are you going to do? Are you going to have those 52 strings on you going to drag them around with you?
Unless they rework the song somehow, but even then it's kind of a disappointment.
It's going to be a letdown to the audience, because the audience is going to be programmed to hearing those little nuances in that song when they're supposed to be there. So, it has to be a good representation of what they're used to listening to. Or else you're going to disappoint your fans, and then it won't matter what you charge for a ticket price, they're not going to come see you again.
That's right. But now, there are a lot of artists that have kind of taken this whole, I guess, global situation and are doing quite well with it. Promoting themselves through the internet, through conventional means, kind of grassroots way, and they're by no means millionaires, but it doesn't say that they want to be.
And that's very well and good. But the problem is, once the industry itself gets a handle on this, right now the industry's trying to cope with it, because for a change, they're the one that's losing the money, not the artist. Once they get a handle on this and they can wrench control away from independence, if they can close the door on hackers, they can close the door on independence using that medium. They can close the door. The object in any business, especially in this one, is if there's a revenue out there and I'm the biggest company, I want to be making that revenue. So if they can see a revenue from this, why in the world would they want someone else coming into their revenues? They wouldn't. Nobody's going to do that in business. So if you can close the door to hackers so that there has to be a fee charged, and that you can collect funds for this, and you can recoup your losses that you're now incurring due to lack of CD sales, well, then you can also close the door to independents setting up the sites and enjoying the benefits that they've had off of this so far. So that's the thing. Once the industry steps in and is actually able to control this thing.
But that's really the strength of the internet, that it is uncontrollable. CRTC has come out and said that because we simply could not enforce any restrictions on what's on the Canadian internet. I don't even know if there's such a thing as the Canadian internet, but because they've acknowledged it.
It's an oxymoron,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, because they've acknowledged that they can't control it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you propose? Certainly, we heard things from Microsoft today,
Yes.
from the record labels, but eMusic is a pay per download site, and they just laid off 2/3 of their staff because no one's buying.
Right.
And
Why would you right now?
well, yeah, right now. But I guess really the question is, I guess the Napster ruling could have implications as to shutting the door But and let's say that it does shut the door on Napster Tuesday or Monday when that comes down. Where does that go next?
Well, it's hard to say because on intellectual property, even if there are rules and regulations within countries now, international rules and regulations are still lax on intellectual property. And this is where you open this whole can of fish with the internet. The internet is international just by nature.